What's up guys, welcome to the video and back to my channel. So today's just going to be a quick video and give you guys 2 quick tips on how you can grow your shoulders. So you guys know that I hit my front delts and my side delts, my lateral delts when I do my push day with chest and tricep, and then I hit my rear delts, my pull days when I do like back and biceps. So you're always going to be hitting your shoulders through most exercises. Just when you're working other muscles, you're going to be working the shoulder as well, but when you're doing isolated lifts with your shoulders, you want to really focus on working your shoulders. So my first tip here is going to be to lower the weight. When you're and this goes with every muscle group that you're working. When you're doing isolation lifts, you want to focus on driving all the tension to that muscle that you're working, because then that's what's going to really give you the muscularity, and then it's also going to make that muscle stronger. So when you're doing that with every muscle and carry it over to your compound lifts like your bench press, then your bench press is going to get stronger too. But I'm going over shoulders today because I've made this mistake for years. I've seen this mistake happen a ton, and my first tip then is to lower the weight, because when you're doing an isolation lift, especially with the shoulders, you don't have to go that heavy. You really want to focus on controlling the weight and just using your shoulder. And that's going to kind of go into tip number 2. So these kind of go somewhat together. And that's the second tip is going to be scapular retraction. So I've discussed this in a video before, but so basically what that is pulling your shoulders back and then down and staying tight and doing your lifts like that. So I've got some 15 pounders right here, but I'm just going to go through a few exercises. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to start with the lateral raise, just because this is the one I see it most commonly done on. So people will just grab some weight, usually heavier than they need, and then they'll start doing it. And they don't realize that they are really recruiting their traps and bringing their traps into it. So they kind of get some momentum going, and they're using their traps, and it's taking away tension from the side delt here. So when I'm doing this, you're really getting the tension on the rear delt, the beginning of the lift here to like here, and then the trap takes over, and you don't get the full range of motion with the tension just being on the rear delt or the lateral delt. So what you want to do here is, instead of just grabbing the weight, that's too heavy, and doing something like that where you're using your traps, yeah, you're still working your shoulders, but I'm showing you a way to isolate them more. So you want to pick up a weight. I got 15s here. I usually use like 15s, 20s on this exercise. You don't need that much weight. So you're going to just pull the shoulders back and down. You're going to be tight. And you're going to really focus on controlling the weight and just having all that tension in the lateral delt. And not having momentum and bringing your traps into it. So that was a lateral delt, but you can do this on every single exercise you do. So here's like rear delt flies. You want to bring the shoulders back like that. And not just letting them hang and using momentum like this. You're still working this. You're still going to be working the rear delt, but not as effectively as you can. On these isolated movements where you're doing them for your shoulders, take out the other muscle groups from the lift. So, like I just showed you guys, you can do that by lowering the weight and retracting the scapula. Get everything tight and not swinging, using momentum. Back, down, get into place, And you can do that with any exercise. So like if you're doing like shoulder press, same thing. Back, down, tight position. Focus on really using your delts. And not just, you know, grabbing some weight, using momentum, and just getting the weight over your head. And that's good. I mean, there's going to be times where you want to do the push press, times where you're going to want to get, you know, you want to use heavy weights to, you know, stimulate growth. But, you know, these isolation lifts, really you want to be focusing on just, you know, working your one muscle group that you're working on, putting all the tension there, and that's really what's going to give you some good muscularity. So, same thing with front delt raise. You don't want to just, you know, grab some weight and be swinging it. You want to, you know, and then really focus on using your front delt to pull that weight up. And on these exercises with the raises, like the front raise here, and then the lateral raise, I lower the weight. So here I'm using 15s, and it's not just like getting the weight up, like focus on, you know, like going out and then up, and really, you know, focus on what you're doing. What are you trying to accomplish? When you're working the shoulders, you know, what you trying to hit the front head, the side or the rear, and taking out the other muscles from it. Because especially shoulders all the time, you know, I made this mistake for years where it was just kind of like almost just kind of going through the motions and like, you know, using other muscle groups, and like then your shoulders just not getting the proper amount of tension. It's not, you know, the most efficient way to train them. So like I said, lower the weight, retract the scapula, keep everything tight, focus on what you're working, and don't be using momentum and, you know, using your traps and recruiting like the biceps, triceps, whatever. Hit those, and then you're gonna also be hitting the delts on your compound lifts and other lifts like bench press and everything like this, those other lifts. So, but yeah, anyways, so you follow those things, you're gonna be able to grow the delts. They're gonna look bigger, they're gonna get stronger, and that's gonna carry over into your compound lifts. And like I said, you can do that with every exercise and every muscle group that you're working on. I just know that with shoulders for the longest time, I was making that mistake where I was just kind of going in, doing the lifts, going through it. So, okay, yeah, so that's gonna be the video. If you like that, please hit the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that as well, and I'll see you guys in the next one.